Okay, welcome everybody to this very intense hour of pitching from 20 different promising companies. My name is Gunnar Ahlberg. I come from Sciety, one of the leading investment syndicates in Scandinavia when it comes to life science. And I think we better jump into the first presentation already. So I would like to welcome Aqsens Health representative from Finland, Ville Pimenov. Please come up on stage. A hand for Ville.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? I'm Ville Pimenov, Vice President from Aqsens Health, and we are a Finnish startup pioneering in developing biosensors to detect cancer from urine and saliva. And this detection is possible already at an early stage of cancer development. So our biosensors are bacteriophages, viruses naturally infecting bacteria. And we know how to target these phages to detect cancer-related molecules in urine or saliva. So what is our main goal? To cure cancer? I don't think so. To provide preventative cancer care for all? That's pretty close. So ideally, our technology provides cheap, high throughput for cancer diagnosis in large-scale screening. So the most important thing is that we have a scientific proof of our biosensors to detect cancer of urine and saliva, and we have already developed IPR around this technology. So why we are here? Because we're looking for partners in pharma and diagnostics and investors for the next round of 6 million euros to go forward with our clinical trials in Finland, Sweden, and China. So if you're interested in the journey with the biosensors, we should talk. Remember, Aqsens Health from Finland. Thank you.
We are flying here, that's perfect. So I would like to welcome the next presenter from Asgard Therapeutics, Sweden, Christiana Pires. Please give a hand.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So do you believe that you could have a cancer therapy that is at the same time off the shelf and personalized? Well, I can tell you that you should believe, because that's what Asgard Therapeutics is developing. And Asgard is a Swedish startup company, and we are pioneering cancer immunotherapies based on a direct reprogramming concept, which means that we can really change the identity of cells. And our lead program is a gene delivery system that encodes 3 reprogramming factors. Once we deliver these factors into solid tumors, it can reprogram the tumor cells to become these highly immunogenic antigen-presenting cells, which means that they can now show the tumor neoantigens on their surface on the professional machinery to activate really efficient anti-tumor immunity. So it means that we have an off-the-shelf product, always the same gene delivery system, but the response is personalized because it depends on the antigens that are being presented. And as we are inducing cells within patient's tumor, this means that we bypass the challenges with autologous or allogeneic cell therapies. And as we induce antigen presentation, we can really bypass the tumor immune evasion mechanisms and increase response to checkpoint inhibitors, for example. So the company, since we started, we attracted more than 7 million euros in funding, including soft funding, but also a seed round from top 3 European VCs that are around here today. And we were able to build a strong IP portfolio, have proof of concept that we can reprogram cancer cells, and in vivo, in mouse tumor models, we have control of the tumor growth and also prolonged survival of the animals. On the next year, we are looking to close a Series A of investment to do the CMC GMP manufacturing, IND-enabling studies, and clinical trials in indications that are resistant to checkpoint blockade. So if there's any investors around that want to discuss more, please reach out. And I'm looking forward to have support to finally bring the first-in-class in vivo reprogramming therapy to cancer patients. Thank you very much.
This goes fantastic. Next company is Maculaser from Finland, and we welcome Jani Tiranen from the company.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Maculaser targets the single and biggest unmet need in the field of ophthalmology. The disease called dry AMD, or dry age-related macular degeneration, which is the biggest and leading cause for blindness. It will also affect 30% of this audience at some stage of your life. 5% will get severe symptoms at some stage, and there's no treatment. Our treatment technology utilizes laser to heat up the retinal tissue to the precise temperature to get the natural healing response, or to be more exact, so-called heat shock response. So far, the problem with this kind of non-damaging laser treatments have been that no one knows the actual temperature in the treatment tissue. That fundamentally limits the use of these treatments. Maculaser deep technology solution solves this problem with real-time temperature control of the treated tissue. The outcome, efficient and safe treatment of central field of vision, and dry AMD. So far, we have conducted major preclinical studies, clinical usability studies with real patients, and now moving forward to actual clinical trials. We are seeking now 5 million euros to fully commercialize the technology. Our team, top-of-the-class engineers filled with PhDs, have been partnering with the leading retinal specialists and industry leaders worldwide. In case of our success, our technology will fundamentally change how retinal diseases are treated in the future. Thank you.
Fantastic. We move on to the next company. That will be Cerebriu from Denmark, and we welcome Thomas Juhl Olesen.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So can you hear me? Yeah. So my name is Thomas Juhl Olesen. I am the Chief Commercial Officer of Cerebriu. Cerebriu is a Danish company headquartered in Copenhagen. We are 4 years old and about 40 employees at this point. We're just setting up our US office as we speak as well. So we're in radiology AI, specifically in brain MRI. The problem we're looking at is in brain MRI, about 50% of people coming in for a brain scan generate no findings. 50%. So you may have symptoms, dizziness, headache, but apparently there's nothing to be found in the brain MRI scan. That's a big problem. Radiologists are burning out like never before. 60% of radiologists will experience burnout at some point in their career. So the solution to this, what if you could imagine the scanner being intelligent? So within the first few minutes of the brain scan, the scanner would tell you there's nothing to be found. You may discharge the patient. Or if there is something to be found, I suggest you look specifically for this and you focus your sequences in a specific way for this finding. So that's two highly valuable value propositions. There's already competition. There's many, many radiology AI companies out there. But as far as I have seen, there's no one working in the scanner live. All of them are working downstream, post-processing. And there's very few in brain MRI. That's the toughest part to begin with. That's what we attacked so far. The status right now is that we have a very exciting agreement with Siemens Healthineers. That's number one in MRI scanners in the world. So we actually have access to the world market, global distribution in about 6 months from now. The product is CE marked and pending FDA approval, probably Q1 next year, and patented. So if you'd like to join us for this very exciting and difficult, important problem to solve, we're looking at an A round probably in 6 to 8 months from now. Thank you very much.
As you can hear, there's a great mix of different companies. I would like to welcome the next company, DoMore Diagnostics from Norway, and Torbjørn Furuseth. Please.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Torbjørn, the CEO and co-founder of DoMore Diagnostics. I'm also a medical doctor, and I will always carry the patient's best interest at heart. I want them to have the best treatments available and also not to suffer from unnecessary side effects. Imagine that you're diagnosed with cancer. Two questions come to mind. Will I die from this cancer? And what is the best treatment option for me? We established DoMore Diagnostics to answer these questions. We are pioneering cancer outcome prediction with histopathology, image analysis, and deep learning. Years and large amounts have been spent in gene sequencing and profiling. However, there is still a large need for outcome prediction markers that can help guide personal treatment decisions. The few tests available in the market have established a segment with pricing of $2,000 to $4,000 per test. Our solution with the lead program in colorectal cancer are well documented in the Lancet Oncology, Lancet main article or main journal. We have a CE marked application and we have received the first patent. The technical solution is simple. We use standard histology images. We plug onto existing workflow and we are compatible to existing hardware and software solutions. On a global scale, we can improve patient care and save costs of $4 billion. Now we are in several dialogues to implement our solution in clinical practice. And now is also your chance to join our journey and take part in the value creation. We are raising $10 million to finalize and execute on our market access strategy and get to first commercial sale. We are a strong and dedicated team with drive and experience, and we are eager to put your money to work. So please feel free to reach out if you're curious to learn more. Thank you for your attention.
Yeah, as you can hear, a lot of opportunities for investments. Next company on stage will be Gopen APS from Denmark, Ole Kirkegaard. Please.
Thank you. How many of you know somebody with diabetes? Probably a lot. How many of you have seen somebody inject insulin with a pen? 47 million people do this every day. What you probably don't know is that another 13 million people are injecting insulin with a syringe. We know from data that using syringes basically makes you live shorter and have a bad quality of life. My name is Ole Kirkegaard Nielsen. I have a 10-year background from Novo Nordisk in business development and commercialization, and my partner has 29 patents in insulin pens. We have created a platform technology for in-home precision dosing. The first vertical will be a pen that has the following characteristics. It's patent protected, it's easy to use, it can be used with different types of insulin. And we have had two meetings with the FDA, and they tell us that we know how to get it approved. Manufacturing partnership is secured, and it can be used for other therapy areas. We're the first to come up with an affordable insulin pen that can save lives and improve quality of lives, especially with people with low-income groups. We've done this in 3 years. We got the Danish patent after 18 months, and we are currently preparing the FDA submission at the end of this year, expecting approval in the middle of next year. We have engaged with commercial partners who tell us that we can get on the market in 2024, and today we need 5 million euro to scale up production capacity and product launch. Complete regulatory packages include CE mark. We are looking at a company with a 1.6 billion euro market and potential revenue of 100 million euro 5 years after launch. If you find this interesting, please come by. I'm here the rest of the day and hopefully for the evening as well. Thank you very much for your attention.
So, great. Next company on stage will be Implexion Pharma from Sweden and Sara Lorentzon.
Imagine you are in your 30s, you've been feeling unwell for a while, so you go to the doctors, and after a lot of tests, you get to hear from the doctor that you got primary sclerosing cholangitis, PSC. Now, what does that mean, right? Unfortunately for you, that means that within the next 20 years of your life, you will either tragically die or you will have to go through a liver transplant. And even if you're among the lucky ones and get a new liver, there is still a 20% risk that that you will get sick again with the same disease. Today, there is no medical treatments available for PSC, but fear not. My name is Sara Lorentzon, and I work for Implexion Pharma, and we develop a medical treatment for PSC based on a completely new approach. I work together with professor and serial entrepreneur Fredrik Bäckhed at Gothenburg University. And he and his research group has identified a disease-causing substance that is called IMP. IMP is produced by bacteria in our stomachs, and much more so if you have the disease PSC. Therefore, to help these patients, Implexion Pharma is developing a small molecule pharmaceutical that will block the production of IMP. That way, we can provide the patients with medical relief, while at the same time limiting the risks of side effects, and we do not expect any resistance development in the bacteria. We are currently in lead optimization phase for our first indication, which is PSC, but we also have several other indications in early phase development. We've just started looking for our first financing round, so please do not hesitate to come and speak to me to find out more. We are Implexion Pharma, and we treat human diseases by inhibiting bacterial enzymes. Thank you.
Moving on, next company on stage is Latka Health from Finland, and we invite Sami Lakka.
Diabetes is a global and growing problem. Although there have been many new technologies and innovations related to diabetes, the main method of measuring blood glucose is still this. If you are a person with diabetes, you need to do this several times a day. And without regular measurement, you run into the problem of having either too low or too high blood glucose levels. The too low condition, known as hypoglycemia, can cause headaches, drowsiness, even loss of consciousness. So it's not something that you want to have when you are working or driving. We at Lakka Health became interested in dogs' capability to detect the low blood glucose state. So dogs do this through scent. Essentially, they are volatile organic compounds that are emitted through your skin, and dogs can pick these up and give a reliable indication when your blood glucose starts to drop. We patented and developed our own technology known as temperature cycle operation, which enables us to detect these very small amounts of volatile organic compounds that are coming. So we are essentially doing the same measurement as the dog does. So you could say that we are miniaturizing the dog. With this wearable device called SACRA, you can get an indication when your blood glucose starts to drop. It's completely non-invasive and highly simple to use. So essentially, you don't even need an app to use it necessarily. With this level of simplicity, we hope to decrease the amount of finger pricking done globally. We are looking for an investment of 2.5 million euros to make this proof of concept a little bit prettier and obviously bring it into the market. We have ongoing clinical trials also which will be funded with this new funding. My name is Sami Lakka. I'm from Latka Health. Thank you.
All right, we're moving on. I think we need some more energy from the audience, maybe also clapping hands before they start talking, so you keep yourself awake. Next company on stage will be Nadeno Nanoscience from Norway. Ahlberg.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So, every third person in this room will get cancer. And many of you will still have to undergo tough chemotherapy. And did you know that as much as 99.9% of this chemotherapy will go to your healthy cells and not to the tumor cells? This will give severe side effects and often also poor treatment efficacy. Nadeno is offering a patented drug delivery solution to this problem. What we do is that we encapsulate the drug into tiny nanoparticles that work as vehicles that transport large amounts of these drugs to the tumor and less to the healthy cells. This technology is different from other nanomedicines. It's cheap, it's simple, it's scalable, and also it's very stable. We have already performed comprehensive preclinical studies in mice showing that we get large accumulation of the drug in the tumor, and this results in less side effects, better efficacy, and prolonged survival in the mice. So, this exciting data has actually led to us, or the lead candidate of Nadeno, being accepted to undergo full preclinical package at the National Cancer Institute at no costs. We're currently seeking 1.5 million euros to get to the next step in this preclinical development. My name is Ahlberg. I'm the CTO, co-founder of Nadeno. I've been working with this technology for 10 years, and I would love to explain more about the potential of this technology in detail with you. Thank you very much.
Moving on, next company on stage will be MyoPax from Denmark, and we welcome Verena Wolf.
Thank you. Oh God, Chelsea, this really feels like a boxer's ring. But it brings me directly to the topic, which is muscle power in this case. So I'm Verena, I'm the CEO of MyoPax, a co-founder, and I'm also a medical doctor. And the last years I took care for patients with muscle diseases. And you, as you sit here, may take muscle power for granted, but it's not. Without, you don't smile, you don't hold your mobile phone, and you don't even breathe. And over 20 million people only in Europe suffer from the devastating consequences of muscle diseases. And what we have as medicine or medical doctors in our hand is only palliative care. So this is where we come with MyoPax, and we are here to radically improve this landscape. Muscle has one big advantage. It harbors own stem cells, and they are capable of regenerating muscle upon old age in healthy individuals. So far, and unfortunately, it has not been possible to make use of these cells because once you have isolated them out of the tissue using conventional methods, these cells lose their regenerative capacity. And this is where we come in and very really unique. We have a technology which is patented that allows us to produce a pure and highly regenerative muscle stem cell product. We use cell engineering and mRNA-based gene engineering, and we combine all these technologies to produce very tailored therapies for muscle diseases. These include an autologous approach, an allogeneic approach to treat local muscle defects, acute muscle wasting, and deliver gene therapy in genetic muscular dystrophies. Our first clinical trial with the lead candidate starts in a few months, and it's completely funded by non-dilutive funding, and it's designed to allow for conditional market approval right thereafter. Our team comprises high expertise in clinical expertise, scientific expertise, regulatory expertise, as well as for the manufacturing. We are a spin-off from the Charité University and the Helmholtz Association in Berlin. And on the other hand, we're super, super happy to have joined the Bioinnovation Institute very recently, while have founded the spin-off. We've gained substantial non-dilutive funding so far, and we are a clinical-ready company. And now we are here to raise 18 million euro. What we want to do, we want to enter next clinical trials in the autologous setting, and we do the preclinical efficacy for the allogeneic approach. And I would be super happy to talk to you. Please join us. We have something in our hand that really can change something for the patients with muscle diseases. Thank you.
So friends, we are halfway through. We are on time, and all the presenters are doing a fantastic job. I did some calculation, and it ended up that if you invest in all these companies, you will invest a lot of money. So next company will be Oncosyne from Norway, and we welcome Peter Eide.
Thank you. Hello, NLS. Pleasure to be here. I recently heard an interview from a retiring researcher oncologist. When at the start of her career, she had only a handful of drugs to her disposal. Now, there are literally hundreds. And her problem was that there's no effective way of choosing the right drug to the right patient. Given all the promise from genomics, I want to highlight two aspects. Even for well-understood interactions, the predictive accuracy of DNA-based methods are surprisingly low. For instance, only 30% of colorectal cancer patients giving targeted therapies for BRAF mutations actually respond to the therapies. Secondly, single agents are not going to cure advanced cancers. And even in simple cell line models, devising accurate genomic-based prediction algorithms seems intractable. So the solution is direct measurement of the patient's cancer cells response to drug and drug combinations. And before leaving academia, Oncosyne's founders established such a platform, which is now being tested in a clinical phase 2 trial, termed Evident. And based on this experience, and after assessing the remaining technical barriers, we saw an opportunity to rapidly develop this into a clinical, useful routine diagnostics. So why should we succeed in this very competitive space? We have spent 2022 optimizing our technology, and our technology stack addresses several shortcomings of previous attempts and competitors closer to market. First, we don't use short-term stress cultures, but robust market tumor cultures grown in our own proprietary media. Patent is being filed now. Second, we do direct phenotypic readouts, not surrogate markers, improving clinical relevance. Third, we have excellent clinical collaborators and already an ongoing clinical pilot study that is giving us valuable data. So the plan is to start the clinical performance study the coming year and be on the market in 2026. So next year, we aim to raise 2 million euros in capital to fund this clinical performance study and bring this technology to oncologists and patients. Thank you very much.
So don't spend all your money yet. There's more to come. Next company is Lucia Pharma from Denmark, Christopher Clemensen.
Good afternoon. Pleasure to be here. I'm Christopher Clemmensen, CEO and co-founder of Lucia Pharma. So we're a new founded company, spin-out company from the University of Copenhagen that are focusing on developing new therapeutics for treatment of severe brain disorders. The journey started in 2019 when we discovered that a specific neurotransmitter system in the brain would be a potential target for treatment of severe obesity. So we discovered that a specific subset of small molecule modulators of this neuroplasticity system in the brain could actually lower body weight in obese rodents. But one problem was, how did we target specific deliver this to the right regions of the brain and circumvent adverse effects typically associated with small molecules? So inspired by the myth of the Trojan horse, we actually decided to make small molecule peptide conjugates and use the specificity of gut hormones and how they target specific subpopulations in the brain to target specific delivery of the small molecule modulators of synaptic plasticity. And thereby we obtain the benefits of both molecular entities, circumventing adverse effects and obtain neurostructural changes to elicit long-lasting and sustained effects on body weight loss. But in parallel, we actually also discovered that this technology could be expanded in a platform-like fashion to treat other severe CNS disorders. So we actually moved into Alzheimer's disease as well, where we again in a rational, specific design fashion have designed molecules that will lower the accumulation of amyloid plaque in transgenic mice that develop severe plaque formation. Similarly, we've moved into treatment of schizophrenia, where we facilitate pro-cognitive effects, again with this targeted technology. We use very potent small molecule modulators and then we target them in a specific fashion using gut hormones. So through consecutive funding from the Bioinnovation Institute in Copenhagen, we've managed to start Lucia Pharma, and we've pushed through the preclinical development, and we've entered CMC with our lead candidate for obesity, OP56, and we have subsequent candidates for the other CNS disorders. And we're now looking for partners that are willing to either invest or partner with us to push through the clinical development of these exciting compounds. So ideally in the vicinity of 3 to 5 million euro, and we can also take more, but that should be able to bring our lead candidates to phase B and be extremely attractive for big pharma that are interested in the metabolic space, which is a huge growing area. So we already see interest from some of the big pharma in this space, such as Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, and we think that we can actually rival their compounds in the obesity space. But we're also excited about the other CNS disorders. That's enough for me from now, but I'm happy to follow up. So please find me after this pitch sessions. Thank you.
Happy to hear that we can invest more if you want. Next company is Oxcia from Sweden, Ulrika Berglund.
Every year, 10 million people dies of cancer. 10 million. That is the same amount as the entire population of Sweden. I'm Ulrika Berglund, CEO at Oxcia. And at Oxcia, we are fighting cancer by our innovative proprietary technology platform originating from 15 years of research at Karolinska Institute, and now further developed with our highly skilled and motivated Oxcia team that together has more than 200 years of drug development and business experience. The ideal treatment of cancer should work on all patients, be curative, safe, and easy to use. And this sounds like an utopia, but chemotherapy does many of these things. However, it's limited by severe adverse effects and resistance development. The targeted medicine and oncology drugs, they are successful, but only to a limited patient population. We believe we have the solution with Oxcia's patented and first-in-class OX101. With its unique dual mechanism, OX101 kills cancer by stopping the repair of oxidative DNA damage and also execute specific chemotherapy functions. Unlike chemotherapy, our drug is sparing the healthy cells while it is well tolerated. With our extensive global collaboration network, we have shown and published extensive preclinical data in high-prestigious journals, such as Nature. And now, in our 2 ongoing clinical phase 1 trials, we can confirm that OX101 tablets are well tolerated and show clinical benefits in these very advanced cancer patients. I'm here to raise 10 million euros to support the next phase, a clinical phase 2 trial in cancer patients with high unmet medical need. And after discussion with the pharma, we believe that we can complete the deal after the completion of phase 2. Our technology platform also consists of preclinical studies and projects, where we have a novel project for treating lung fibrosis with orphan drug designation possibilities. So I hope you want to make a difference together with us.
All these fantastic ideas, and there's more to come. Next company is Perfectia Therapeutics from Denmark, Camilla Rolstedt.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. I am, Camilla Rolstedt, and I'm representing Perfectia Therapeutics, and I'm very pleased to be here. In Perfectia, we are focused on improving the life of patients suffering from cancer cachexia. Cachexia is a devastating disorder affecting up to 80% of advanced cancer patients, causing a 50% reduction in median survival. And actually, 20% of the patients die from the cachexia rather than the cancer. So I think you can understand that there is a huge need for novel solutions to help these patients. Cachexia is characterized by a significant unintended weight loss caused by an increase in inflammation, decrease in appetite, and increase in energy expenditure, among others. This leads to, among others, a reduction in fat tissue, but more importantly, you also lose your muscle mass and function, and consequently have a reduced quality of life and experience fatigue. And it also can reduce your tolerance to the cancer treatment, which also, of course, increases the risk of dying from either the cancer or the cachexia. Cancer cachexia is a complex and multifactorial disease, and therefore we in Perfectia is taking a multimodal approach and is developing a dual-acting peptide working on 2 different targets. By addressing several of the pathologies at the same time, we hope we will be able to provide a solution for the patients that will not only improve their function and quality of life, but hopefully also their survival. To date, we have demonstrated in vivo proof of concept in an animal model of cancer cachexia, and we aim to select our clinical candidate early next year. The intention is to raise a seed round of 12 million euros, which will allow us to prepare for and complete a phase 1 study that will also include PD readouts. If you're interested in learning more about the scientific rationale behind our approach or the data we have generated to date, or more about the plans we have for the future, please feel free to reach out. We are more than happy to have the discussion with you. Thank you for your attention.
Isn't it fantastic with all these wonderful presentations? So are you keeping the energy alive? Yeah, good. Next company, Rarity Bioscience from Sweden, Linus Boseus.
Hello. Ulrika from Oxcia just stole my opening line, but I would just reiterate that 10 million people die from cancer every year. But we also heard today that there's a lot of hope. The development of personalized and precision medicine has made huge advances in the past 10 years. But it has also emphasized the need for highly sensitive, cost-efficient, and accessible precision diagnostics to monitor these patients using liquid biopsies. My name is Linus Boseus, and I'm CEO of Rarity Bioscience. And at Rarity, we have developed the future of target precision diagnostic. The underlying core technology has been developed at Ulf Landegen's lab at Uppsala University, combining previously known and successful molecular tools in a new way to generate an ultra-sensitive assay for mutation detection in liquid biopsies, called Super RCA. The Super RCA assay is 10 to 100 times more sensitive than current gold standard. It is multiplexed, meaning that we can detect multiple mutations from the same DNA sample. And perhaps best of all, it is analyzed using high-throughput flow cytometry, which is the standard instrument in any hematology lab, with 75,000 instruments in installed base, making it also pretty interesting from a distribution point of view. The technology was recently published in Nature, focusing on leukemia, but we also have available assays and ongoing development within CRC, colorectal cancer, and lung cancer. We are currently offering our 100+ assay for a service for research, and we are now raising 25 million SEK to continue the portfolio expansion and also the development of certified kits. And if this is the first time you hear about Rarity Bioscience, remember this moment.
I'm sure you will remember the time and date for that. Next company is ResoTher Pharma from Denmark, Lone Weng.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're staying awake. I don't know if you guys know this, but today is World Heart Day. And why does that matter? Well, it matters because heart health is important. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death worldwide, each year claiming 18 million lives and 60 million lost life years. That's because people die prematurely when they have cardiovascular disease. And actually, cardiovascular disease is a pretty big problem, but it's also a pretty big business. It's estimated by the year 2030, we will spend upwards of €1 trillion annually on treatment for cardiovascular disease globally. So this is a problem that needs fixing. And I'm Lone Weng, I'm the CEO of ResoTher Pharma, and we're working on novel treatments for cardiovascular disease. When patients have cardiovascular disease, the great majority of them, upwards of 80%, die of a thrombotic event, such as a stroke or a myocardial infarction. And these patients, if they survive a myocardial infarction, actually have a very high risk of suffering severe and adverse cardiovascular events in the year following. And a major severe adverse cardiovascular event could be another thrombotic event, so another stroke, another infarction, development of heart failure, or cardiovascular death. So pretty serious business. In ResoTher Pharma, we aim to address this using a precision medicine approach to identify patients who are at particularly high risk of developing MACE, or major adverse cardiovascular events, following their myocardial infarction. And these patients you can in fact identify when they arrive at hospital by taking a blood sample and looking at their biomarker fingerprint, because it turns out that high risk for poor prognosis is tightly linked to inflammation status when the patients suffer their myocardial infarction. So we can identify the patients that are high risk, and we can use that in a precision medicine approach to target our treatment. And our treatments are immunomodulatory compounds that actually quickly resolve inflammation. This will have a therapeutic benefit in these types of patients. We're working on a pipeline of peptide drugs from early discovery and into early development. And right now, our lead asset is in phase 1 development. We're here to raise money for phase 2. So proof of concept is right around the corner. We're aiming to raise 10 million euros to start phase 2 development. And we believe that we can get to proof of concept for myocardial salvage and myocardial infarction within 3 years. We invite you to join us.
I never tried speed dating, but speed pitching is definitely a winner that we will see more of in the future. Next company, Sakura Therapeutics from Sweden. We welcome Sandy Yutukumar.
Hi, I'm Sandy. I'm the CEO of Sakura Therapeutics, and I'm a scientist. I'm asking for 20 million euros in investment to develop our small molecule project up to clinical proof of concept. Very ambitious for my first pitch. But at SACRA, we have an answer to target rare and aggressive cancers. And I'm here to highlight why we think we are onto something. First off, we have a great team. We have an RNA biochemist, me, a cancer biologist, drug discovery experts, and a medical oncologist. We will take full advantage of the exclusive knowledge that we have about an enzyme that plays a pivotal role in cancers bearing a specific signature. Now, you've probably heard something along these lines already. So what is special about us? So Sakura Therapeutics develops therapies based on chemical modifications of RNA. Now, we employ a unique first-in-class approach by targeting the RNA epitranscriptome. Now, this is a completely new realm in therapeutic innovation, and we hope that it will allow SACRA to help a lot of cancer patients. Is it high risk? Yes. Well, but fortune favors the brave, does it not? So what we are doing is trying to develop small molecule therapies, specifically targeting the RNA epitranscriptome. And we already have a biomarker in hand for us to use to identify patients that will benefit from our approach. Our lab is at the forefront of the RNA epitranscriptomic research, and we have all the advantages, and even though we are still very early on in the drug development process, we already have proof of concept in target-specific models. Taken together, we offer a really unique opportunity that should not be missed. If we receive Series A funding, we will be able to develop our drug up to clinical proof of concept, and also expand our team to bring in the necessary competence on board. Your contribution will be our success to help cancer patients with very rare and aggressive cancers. Thank you.
Don't you hate when the music goes on all the time? Next company, Sartor Therapeutics from Finland, Katja Ivanitsky.
Hi, I'm Katja Ivanitsky, CEO of Sartor Therapeutics. We are developing treatment for gastrointestinal stromal tumor, or GIST. It's a rare orphan cancer with a poor prognosis in advanced disease, and it's also seen in children. The current treatments for GIST are all protein kinase inhibitors that share the same mechanism of action against which the tumors develop resistance. We provide a completely new mechanism of action by targeting phosphodiesterase 3A, PD3A, and promoting cell death. PD3A is highly expressed in GIST tumors, and we have shown excellent in vivo efficacy in patient-derived GIST tumor models. Our active substance, anacrolide, has been on the market for more than 25 years for another indication, and therefore its safety profile is well known. This reduces our development risk significantly. We have a de-risked route to the market. We have strong IP, we have a unique formulation, and we are planning our clinical trial to start in 15 months' time. The leading sarcoma KOLs are excited to participate in the trial. So far, we have collected 2.3 million euros of private funding and a matching governmental funding. We are now collecting a syndicate of investors for a seed A round of 15 million euros to conduct our phase 1/2 clinical trial to aim for a fast approval via conditional marketing approval. And I'm even saving your time here by finishing now, but you can talk more with our excellent team after this. Thank you.
Okay, 2 more to go. Are you still on energy? Good. Save some money. Next company, Sonai Health from Finland, Arto Kultima.
Thank you. Hello, so I'm Arto. I'm a founder of Sonai Health, and I'm a doctor. Been practicing medicine for about 20 years. And with this very stethoscope, I listen to my patients every day. So you might think it could be you or any one of you that I listen, but I miss something that I should have heard. So I think this is something that we should improve. And that's exactly why we found Sonai 1 year ago. And what we have today, we have a prototype with a patented technology. It integrates auscultation, ultrasound, and ECG. And what we get is, instead of subjective auscultation, we get objective recorded results. And instead of waiting for further examinations, we give immediate diagnostics to the point of care. Preclinical measurements were promising, and we already have approval from ethical committee, and we are collaborating with Oulu University Hospital, and we're going to get our clinical validation within 6 months. So today, we want to share our passion for better heart diagnostics, and we're here to meet investors and partners who want to join our journey. And what we need is 1 million euros, and with that money, we will build our runway for next 15 months. We'll finalize our product by end of 2024, and our aim is to partner with a bigger player. So, yeah. Last thing, majority of you have at least one risk factor for cardiovascular disease. So you might have a hidden heart problem. So listen, remember, Sonai listens to your heart. Thank you much.
Okay, our last but certainly not least important contender is Tetrakit Technologies from Denmark, Mathias Herth.
I am not Mathias Herth. I am Andreas Jensen, and I'm the CEO of Tetrakit Technologies. So at Tetrakit Technologies, we are developing the Tetrakit platform. So what this is, it is a very practical and entirely novel approach to preparing radiopharmaceuticals. So radiopharmaceuticals are targeted radioactive molecules that are able to deliver pinpoint radiation therapy to cancer cells in the body. So radiopharmaceuticals have now been demonstrated to clear metastases, to be more effective than conventional therapies, and to have less side effects. So for this reason, they have a huge potential to replace, for example, chemotherapeutics. And the market for radiopharmaceuticals is growing massively at the moment with a CAGR of around 39%. But of course, there is a challenge here, and that is that we don't have a universal one-fits-all approach to preparing radiopharmaceuticals in a rapid and mild way that does not require purification. And this is actually especially true for the best radionuclides that are underdeveloped for this reason. So to address this challenge, we have developed the Tetrakit platform. So with the Tetrakit platform, we can radiolabel essentially any cancer-targeting biomolecule with any radionuclide. So this includes, for example, peptides and antibodies. We can radiolabel them, and we can turn them into radiopharmaceuticals. Tetrakit labeling happens in water, it happens in minutes, it is quantitative, and does not require purification. So this is the platform technology, and using it, we are now establishing in the company a pipeline of novel theranostic radiopharmaceuticals against a number of cancer targets. We would, of course, like to expand this pipeline and would love to partner with other companies that are developing new ligands for cancer targets, which we can radiolabel. So because we have the Tetrakit platform, we are able to focus on labeling with the best radionuclides, which are astatine-211 for targeted alpha therapy and fluorine-18 for PET imaging companion diagnostics. So our first compounds for PET imaging are now being tested in animal models, and we have demonstrated tumor binding, and our first clinical trials are scheduled for next year. We are now looking for a seed investment in the range of 2 to 8 million euros to further our technology. And if you think this sounds interesting, please reach out to us for a talk, and thanks for your attention.
So that concludes this session. Thank you all for coming, and especially thank you for all the presenters. Wonderful session. Come back at 4 o'clock. It will be the award session and the closing ceremony. And maybe your favorite will win the award. So thank you all for coming.